o'clock, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're now live on YouTube and we'll be soon live on Twitter.
Guys.
Okay, a second. Okay, we're live, Jonathan. It's my great pleasure to have you, Jonathan Ornstein, director of JCC Krakow. Jonathan, you're walking from Auschwitz to Krakow. That's a crazy and an amazing idea. How did you make that decision? What's the story behind that idea?
So first of all, good to be with you, Sebastian. Hi, everybody in AJC land. The idea came about a few years ago when we started our Ride for the Living, which is a ride from Auschwitz to the JCC that we do every year. And we had a Holocaust survivor who contacted us named Marcel Zielinski, who's an Auschwitz survivor, actually. And he came and was a cyclist and came on our bicycle ride. And we became very close to Marcel. He became somebody very important in our community. And he told us his story, which was when he was 10 years old, he was liberated and he walked back to Krakow to search for his family. His whole family had been murdered except for his mom. And he reunited with his mother and they eventually moved to Israel and from Israel to Canada. And he rebuilt his life and then became a cyclist and would always, last few years, came back on the bicycle ride with us. So we wanted to do something sort of beyond the ride to honor him. So we wanted to do this walk to sort of walk in Marcel's footsteps. So now we call it In Marcel's Footsteps. And yeah, that's where the idea came from.
Yeah, you're saying we are walking, we're doing this. Who's with you?
I am with my wife, Kasia Leonardi.
Hello, Kasia.
Hi.
Hi,
Kasia,
Kasia.
and I'm with Ryan Kaplan, who works at the JCC. He's our director of external relations. Ryan's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Great to see you all. Great to see you. Listen, Jonathan, you're walking, but I guess this is the first time an AJC and that's a JCC person is doing this on foot and not on a bicycle. But
Actually,
I guess
not the first time, but we did it once a few years ago, and then someone else did it. Robert Desmond from our bicycle ride did it also as well. But this is the second time that I'm doing it.
The second time, and Robert Desmond is the person who actually, if I'm not mistaken, who initiated this whole thing.
Correct. He was the one who rode his bicycle. He rode his bicycle from London to Poland, and he finished his bicycle ride in Auschwitz. He rode 1,350 miles. Took him 3 weeks, and he after he finished in Auschwitz, he came to the JCC. He came for Shabbat dinner at the JCC, and he found something which he wasn't expecting, which was a Jewish community, live Jews there, and this reborn Jewish community. And we became very good friends, and we sort of sitting around one day and said that we realized, kind of came to this understanding that his ride wasn't finished because he finished in Auschwitz. And if you have the choice not to finish in this place, this horrible place of destruction and tragedy, then you shouldn't. So we decided to essentially finish his unfinished ride by going from Auschwitz, a place of darkness, to the JCC, a place of hope and light for the new community. So that's how Ride for the Living started. And we had 15 participants that first year. And then 2019, the last year that we had, were able to travel, we had 250.
So when was the first time? You said 2000.
First one was 2014. And then it grew from 15 participants to 250 participants. And last year, because we couldn't people, of course, we always do it at the end of June, beginning of July, and a little bit better weather than we have today. And because we couldn't have it in person last year, we decided to make it virtual, and people around the world could sign up and do that same distance in their own community, on their own treadmill, something like that. And we had 1,300 people that signed up all around the world. And this year, we're doing it again. We've changed the name to the Global Challenge because we thought calling it virtual when people are actually out there walking and running and cycling those 60 miles, not really fair to call it virtual. So we changed it and we call it the Global Challenge. Today is really the start. We're doing this sort of as the kickoff of the global challenge. We hope that people all around the world will join us in June. And we have already 800 people. We opened registration, pre-registration last week, and we have 800 people already signed up.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm one of them. And actually,
Excellent.
my first time, this is going to be my first virtual Ride for the Living.
Right.
I first participated in it, I think, some 5 years ago. That was
That's
my
right.
first and only whole Ride for the Living. Then I had another stand, and that was only part of the way because of my knee problems. But I was really very happy. The experience was one of a kind, and it's basically the experience of a community. People form a family for a whole day. So this is Jonathan. I really want to congratulate you on the idea, on having this Ride for the Living, and it's in spite of the pandemic. You're doing this, and it's actually, I don't think it's going to be virtual. It's not everybody will be at the same place at the same time, but it's going to be real people doing real, biking. Tell me one more thing. Marco Zielinski is not going to be with us this year, but a lot of people are going to take part in the Ride for the Living 2021. What's the, how do you call this? How do you encourage people to take part in this event this year?
So it's called the Ride for the Living Global Challenge. As I said, it's not virtual, so we had to change the name when people are out and doing that. So you walk, ride, or cycle at least 60 miles during the month of June. And you can find out about it on our website, ridefortheliving.org, or go to JC Krakow, Friends of JC Krakow, all the different websites that we have. But essentially go for ridefortheliving.org. And also, I should say that anybody who signs up today, it's free to sign up. There's no fundraising requirement. We just want people to get out there and show their support for the Holocaust survivors around the world, to show their support for this reborn Jewish community in Poland. And anybody, if you sign up today, and again, no fundraising, 2 minutes to sign up, doesn't cost anything, no fundraising requirement, just sign up, pledge to get those miles in June. And for everybody who does it, we get $18 today. So it'd be great if people want to sign up and get their friends to sign up. It's easy to do, no barrier, no cost, and we get $18.
Jonathan, it's really wonderful to be talking with you, but I don't want to take your breath away because you need a lot of fresh air while walking.
No.
It was really a pleasure.
It's a good distraction, Sebastian. I also want to just thank you, because you are. This is that for years, I've been in Poland for 20 years, and we've had many difficulties as the Jewish community, and issues with Shrita, and issues with the IPN law a few years ago. And I just want to say that that AJC, the American Jewish Committee, for us has really been such a strong partner, always collaborating with us and working with the local Jewish community here, and really it's been such a positive thing to have not only AJC always for it's decades and decades of involvement in Poland, but especially lately with you and the office in Warsaw. So thank you, AJC.
Thank you. No, Jonathan, thank you. I think Poland is really lucky to have you as a member of its Jewish community, and you as a leader of the Krakow Jewish community. And I'm really proud to say this on Holocaust Remembrance Day, as we commemorate the victims of the Holocaust. You are somebody who on this particular day is saying that Am Yisrael Chai, I'm Yehudi Chai. The Jewish community of Poland is alive in spite of the tragic chapter in history, which we will forever remember. You say, Dafka, we will continue. Really, thank you so much, Jonathan. Fingers crossed, be strong. And I look forward to hearing from you when you're back at the JCC.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Be well.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. All the best to Kasia and Ryan.